He keeps kicking me in the dick. Why? Why does he keep kicking me in the dick?
If you wanna run away with me, I know a galaxy and I can take you for a ride. I had a premonition that we fell into a rhythm where the music don't stop for life. Glitter in the sky, glitter in my eyes, shining just the way you lie. If you're feeling like you need a little bit of company, you met me at the perfect time. You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, I'm levitating. The Milky Way, we're renegading. I got you, moonlight, you're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating. You, moonlight, you're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating.
How's it going, everybody? And welcome to the last bastion of sanity for this portion of the internet. I give to you the Last Vox. Now I want you to go ahead, grab your favorite beverage, sit back, and relax and realize that you are, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the most intelligent people on the planet, according to anyone we talk about on this show. How's it going, everyone? My name is Matt, and good God, do I have a bunch of stuff to go over things with you today. It's been a thing. This weekend has been very interesting. This week has been kind of interesting. But before we get into any of that stuff, let's go ahead and say hello to people in the chat. Now, I know there were people who said hello way back when I set this thing up to go live at 4 o'clock. Unfortunately, your messages have been taken to the ether somewhere. They're not showing up for me. So, I'm going to say hello to Nathan Marcano, who got first. Ray says, keeping Mitzi company from the Peanut Gallery. He got second. Cuttlefish got third. And Sir Wolf got honorable mention. How is everyone? How are all four of you? Ishtar's lurking around somewhere. Say hello to Ishtar. How's it going, gorgeous? Let's see. Jacob is here. How's it going, Jacob? Dr. Herb is in the house. And he says, hello, a topic I know much about. We're going to get to that in a second, Herb. And Steve's here, says, I'm here, don't start without me. Wouldn't start without you, Steve, don't worry. Haster's here, how's it going? Sweet Vale, how's it going? Long time no see. Thank you, I'm glad you still think that I rock. And let's see, I think that's it for everybody I can see right now. I will say hello to everyone as they come in. How's it going, Wren? Tell Igor I said hello. So, the title of this stream is Untitled Swan Game. And another title that was given to me, basically the whole title should be Untitled Swan Game or Untitled Swan Song. Because this is, well, as you can tell, I'm kind of dressed up nice today. I have a button-up shirt, long sleeves, like I could be wearing a tie. And that's because I'm here for a funeral. Because somebody got fucking buried. And he did it to himself. How's it going, Ben C? Zeo Gold, Za, nice to see you guys are here. Man, it has been a thing. I'm doing pretty good, Sweet Vale. My videos have been lacking these last couple weeks. I apologize. I haven't been feeling well. I had to go get tested for COVID over the weekend, or before the weekend. I tested negative, but that means good and bad things. Means good, I don't have it. Bad is I still don't know what's wrong with me. So hopefully we will be getting any of that stuff sorted as soon as possible. So I hope you're doing well, Sweet Vale. We're here for a funeral, guys. Put F's in the chat for the one, the only, John Swan. Now, I normally don't cover drama, but this is something that has to be talked about because John Swan was one of those up-and-coming commentary idiots who went around saying he was a 19-year-old copyright expert. John Swan went after the likes of Susie Liu because of everything that she apparently was going to do in destroying YouTube, which of course never fucking happened. He went after Chris Hansen because Chris Hansen didn't credit him for taking down Onision and covering Onision. Like all the other commentary morons got pissed off because, well, Chris Hansen did in one fell swoop what they couldn't do for 10 years. John Swan, Nathan, you know who John Swan is? Oh, that's right. If you guys don't know who John Swan is, it means you actually have some good taste. Now, John Swan is a commentator. He's a drama YouTube channel. And, I don't deal with the drama channels. I don't like being in drama. I don't think anybody likes being in drama, to be fair, but I do like watching it. And this has been one hell of a ride. And Dr. Herb in the chat has had a front row seat for all of this. Because there are a few people in this group of John Swans that all have Dr. Herb blocked, yet they can't help but follow him on Twitter. They read everything he says, they listen to everything he says, and basically hate his guts. Now, Dr. Herb has done something, and I'm going to get to the topic at hand. Dr. Herb has done something that I have not been able to accomplish because he's nicer than I am. Now, Dr. Herb is a great guy if you want to follow him. He has a Twitter. It's very informative. He's a nice guy. He's funny. And he basically gets their attention, and he tells them, he holds a mirror up to them. And he does it in such a way that they hate him for it, but they can't help but continue to follow him. I, on the other hand, I hold a mirror up to them and I point at them and laugh. So that's probably why he gets away with it better than I do. Now, John Swan is a commentary part of the commentary community, or the Karentary community, or the drama community, or whatever. Basically, he makes a living, quote-unquote, off of YouTube, and all he does is tear down other people. He tries to expose pedophiles to get himself some clout, and he makes sure that all of his buddies who are in good with him gets as many subscribers and followers as he has. They scrub each other's backs, give each other reach-arounds, do a bunch of stuff that is pretty shady, and if any of them fuck up, well, don't worry, you'll never hear about it. Yeah, as Dr. Herb just stated, if you don't like drama, skip his Twitter. But if you like watching drama and you like being entertained by it, go ahead and give him a follow. So John Swan had a big well-to-do that lasted a whole weekend before he decided he was going to take a break with Dream. Now, I don't know if you guys know who Dream is. He is a huge Minecraft YouTuber. He's never been seen. He streams with Corpse Husband. He does a bunch of... He did some Among Us stuff. He did an escape room with... dang, that's a long name. A lot of this stuff he does is Minecraft related. He had some controversy recently about cheating in a Minecraft speedrun. He actually hired a mathematician and a lawyer to give a 23-page rebuttal as to why he didn't cheat. And you either agree that he cheated or you don't. I really don't care. I've never seen a single fucking thing of Dreams. I just know who he is by the people that I follow on Twitter who talk about him. People like Scott Major, Lauren Zside, all of them, they know who Dream is, and thus it gets brought up. The only thing I know about Dream I saw from a game theory video. But I know he has 18 million subscribers, and John Swan took a chance to take a punch at God, basically. He took a swing at God and lost. Now, what this is going over is basically when John Swan was a bitty YouTuber, as he put it, and he only had about 6,000 subscribers, he did a collaboration with Dream. I don't know how he got a collaboration with Dream, but he did. It was something about Minecraft and the speedrunning community, whatever it was. Well, John Swan then decided, being the edgelord that he was at the ripe old age of 18, that he was going to troll Dream. And not only troll Dream, but troll one of Dream's fans. How did he do that? Well, he turned his Discord profile into Dream's profile. And then he messaged the Dream's fan with some not-so-nice things, some sexual things, and the N-bomb. I mean, that's the best way to troll, right? You say the N-bomb as often as possible. I used to have a co-host that loved to say the N-bomb, and everybody loved it, and he thought he was the funniest thing that had ever come out, and it turns out he was just a moron. But this was a while ago. Now, John Swan has over 100,000 subscribers, and he's popular amongst the commentary community. I don't know, I left that community a long time ago. Now, I have it up, and we'll read it for a second, but I'm giving you guys some background as to what's going on. Now, Dream caught wind of this recently and made a Reddit post where he basically said that John Swan admitted to him that it was his account. John Swan admitted that it was stupid. He also said that it wasn't him, it was his 12-year-old autistic cousin who wanted to see how he got information, how John Swan wanted to see how he got information, and he kind of showed him how he does his research for YouTube. And he accidentally left it open. Now, Dream didn't accuse John Swan of any of this stuff in his Reddit post. In his Reddit post, he basically just said, this is what happened. I don't trust John Swan. I don't think he's a good guy. And this is where it's going to lie. Now, Dream, having 18 million subscribers, you'd think that Reddit post would have hundreds of thousands of upvotes. Right? Hundreds of thousands. It should be spread all over Reddit. It would be on Reddit News. It would be on the Reddit front page. It's so impactful to John Swan that he had to make a statement. Now, you know how I'm exaggerating because I'm saying, well, exaggerated movements, exaggerated words. It had 20. 20. That's how many upvotes it had. It had no traction whatsoever. John Swan, on the other hand, decided to take that, not respond to it on Reddit, but take it to his 26,000 followers on Twitter and put Dream on blast. It didn't work out too well for him. As a matter of fact, it didn't work out so well that he had to make a retraction. He said that he just wants to put this whole thing behind him and he wants to move on to new things. And then we have this weekend. I have Dream's statement, and I have John Swan's statement. So we're going to read John Swan's statement first, and then we're going to go over a few things. Myth Cuttlefish asked, was that Zach? No, believe it or not, Zach did not ever say the N-word on my shows. Ever. He was funny. He didn't think he was the funniest thing out there. But no, the person I'm talking about is from a long time ago who has no relevancy whatsoever. And it's from the old Proper Villains show, basically. Now, let's hear what John Swan has to say. Now, real quickly, the commentary community is very important, according to them. But one of the main things that they have to deal with is they have to have credibility because they are telling you their opinion, and their opinion has to be right, which is always, nope, wasn't Brockus, which is always how they view things. And if they view things a certain way, they want their fans to view things that way as well. So credibility is a huge thing. When you lose credibility, you lose trust. So let's go over John Swan's statement, and then we're going to go over Dream's statement, and then we're going to go over a few fun things. So, this is from John Swan. I don't have an Australian accent. I don't have a shitty high voice, sound like I'm sucking in helium accent. But this is John Swan, so try and imagine an Australian who sounds like he's been giving a blowjob to a Bozo the Clown impersonator and sucking in helium instead of cum. Okay? Forgive that, but that's the nicest way I can put him. Hello, everyone. As a commentator, my credibility is important to me. Unfortunately, I have let you all down. There is no excuse for what I did, and I take full responsibility. He's not. He's not taking full responsibility. He's making excuses. I wish I could have made a video, but I'm currently traveling and not in the position to do so. That never stopped him before. I was messing around on Discord about a year back with a friend of mine. I had 6K subs and I thought nothing of it. This somehow got back to Dream and I didn't expect it to. I panicked. I told a lie and I thought it would never get brought up again. I was wrong. He was very wrong. He was very, very, very wrong. Dream's Reddit post, there's a lot here. Dream's Reddit post came out and I was completely in shock that someone would bring up that I lied and that I messed with someone and that I said a whole bunch of horrible things and that they don't like me. I was shocked. I panicked again and I made my thread. Okay, he panicked. Guys, he panicked. You can't be mad at him. He panicked. That thread itself includes a 20 to 23 page report or response plus a 40-minute video. But he had nothing to do with He had nothing. He didn't know that it was. He panicked. He panicked in writing all of that. He had no idea it was going to come back and bite him in the ass. Someone basically handed him a shovel and he just kept fucking digging. He's about 6 feet under right now. Because, well, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we're here to experience, well, a funeral. I thought it would look really bad if people thought I was impersonating a YouTuber. Or they would think you're being a dumbass kid since Augie did that. Augie RFC is another one of these commentary community idiots who's friends with John Swan and hopes John Swan's popularity will bring him popularity. Augie was invited onto a stream, and instead he sent the link to that stream to someone else who decided to impersonate Augie, got on that stream, said 3 things, and got booted off. And then Augie claimed that he was kicked off of the stream and tried to destroy the credibility of the person who streamed it. And if you're wondering who that was, you may not like him, you may like him, I don't care. I watch him because I've watched him since the beginning, is Tonka Saw. Augie RFC was coming on to Tonky Time, his new show, or newest show, and basically we're going to hash something out. Augie sent in an impersonator and then crowed on Twitter about how Tonka kicked him out of his server. This is the credibility that these people have. Let's see, where was I? Even though it was so small and inconsequential at the time, but I understand how now that lying about something on as big of a scale as this is indefensible. If you would have just openly said it at the beginning, none of this would be an issue. None of this stuff would have come out as big as it is. Dream would just think you're a moron. Because he already thinks you're a moron. So nothing would have changed. I'm especially sorry... Time after time I messed up. I've talked about John Swan recently about Pie Man. The 15-year-old kid that John Swan accused to being a pedophile for liking a 12-year-old and then tried to bully him off the internet. That would be a huge mess up. Now, apparently, John Swan, behind the scenes, has apologized to Pie Man. I haven't heard from Pie Man, so I don't know if that apology is true or not, or if he was just bullshitting. Who knows? But yeah, he's messed up more than a few times. He's also someone who has said that Suzy Liu is going to be sued by every anime company in Japan because she does reaction videos on YouTube and makes money. The hot Irish girl is making money on YouTube and is more successful than him, so she must be taken down! Dr. Herb for $5 says lying on a big scale, indefensible. Lying on a small scale? Well, that's still pretty indefensible if your credibility is based on the truth, right? So, let's see. Time after time I messed up. I should have just said it was me all along, but I didn't. I dug myself deeper and deeper, and I got caught up with everything. I lied about a massive creator, and I'm sorry. No. See, here's the thing. He's only sorry because he got caught. Otherwise, we wouldn't hear this. We wouldn't hear boo from John Swan. Now, I would show you John Swan's Twitter, and where he said he's going to be taking a break, except I can't. He's decided to deactivate his account. He wasn't suspended, he wasn't booted, he did it himself. Now, he's probably going to be back within the 30 days that he has, and he'll return to YouTube saying he's a better person. I don't agree with this. I don't care if he comes back to Twitter. He just should have left his Twitter up, because we all know he's not gone. We all know he's not going to go away. He's not going to move to some other platform. He's going to come right back to Twitter, and he's going to continue doing the stupid shit that he's been doing since he started. But I digress. There is no excuse. You're right. You lied. Your credibility is shot. There is no need to defend me. Well, I'm glad you said that. John, I am. Because Tommy C, Augie RFC, Bo Blacks, Nick DeOrio, and Tipster, well, they've done a lot of defending of you. A lot. like uncomfortable levels of defending of you. And in the most uncomfortable of levels of defending of you was I Bully Bullies. If you guys don't know who that is, don't worry. Nobody else does either. I Bully Bullies is someone who decided to try and suck John's dick and had John insult him personally. Okay? So, they can't defend you in this. There's no need to defend you because you can't be defended. You lied, and then you put out a 23-page novel about how it wasn't you. You had the person who you trolled convinced that it was your 12-year-old autistic cousin who came out and defended you. And now you're saying it was all true. That's a pretty big fucking lie. There is no need to defend me. I was brutally wrong, and I am sorry for lying to you all. Again, I say no. You're only sorry because you got caught. Zeo Gold says, Matt, I'm surprised you're not as big as Tipster. Well, I don't eat enough to be as big as Tipster, to be fair. But if you're talking about popularity-wise, I appreciate that. I think I do much better content than he does. But I don't have the people who are patting my back to try and get my numbers up. And then Igor says, Nick Diorio has me blocked. No idea who he is, other than he is some commentator. Oh, don't worry. Nick has a lot of people blocked. I'm blocked by Nick. Herb is blocked by Nick. I'm pretty sure anybody connected to me, he uses a blockchain, I'm pretty sure. I think Ray is blocked by Nick, too. And Ray says, for reference, 23 pages is longer than the last Sarah story he wrote. And if you remember, that took 2 live streams to get through. I'm especially sorry to Dream for everything I did. Lying at the expense of someone else's credibility is one of the worst things a creator can do. Which is why you do it constantly, Swan. You constantly do this. You constantly make fun of people. You constantly rip them down. You constantly lie about people. You lied about Susie Liu for almost a year. And when she finally said something back, it was, oh, I can't believe she's talking about this. It's over. She's done. Why is she talking about it? I don't know. Maybe it's the hundreds of videos you all made about her. Probably. Who knows? But yeah, you tried to get clout off of someone else's credibility. You tried swinging at an 18 million subscriber YouTuber and basically got your dick slapped into the dirt and then stomped on. Where was I? Once again, there is no excuse. I understand if this makes you lose respect for me. I'm honestly shocked anybody has respect for him. This is someone who lies about knowing things, and I'll get onto a tangent about John Swan at another time. We're already going long in the tooth on this one. I messed up on I would be shocked if you didn't. I messed up on such a large scale that I don't know if I'm capable of anyone's forgiveness, but I will try my best to earn my respect back. I have let you all down. I am ashamed and disappointed in myself, and I'm sorry. I will be taking off time from all social media to process everything. I will return at some point, but I don't know when. In the meantime, stay safe and healthy. There's more. I also want to apologize to the people that stuck their neck out to defend me. People like Nick, Augie, Boblex, Tipster, Optimus, I don't know who that is, and others. I lied directly to their faces and put everyone's credibility in danger. I didn't consider how this might have affected them, but I should have. Once again, there's no excuse for what I did. This, ladies and gentlemen, is called chasing clout. That's what he's doing. Now, he's only apologizing. He's only doing all this stuff because he got caught. And the first thing he can do is apologize. So, we're going to take it from Dream's perspective here. And I hope, like I said, you may not know who he is, but I can tell you this. Dream has 1.2 million followers on Twitter, and he has something like 18 million subscribers on YouTube, and I think he has a ton of subscribers and followers on Twitch. Yes, there's a prophecy that it was foretold he will return. So, like I said, this is from Dream himself. And if you want to know, it's at Dream was taken. So, it's come to my attention that John Swan has confessed to his friends about lying about me after being confronted with new evidence, and has deleted his response after my stream. Now, what he's talking about is a stream that Dream had that basically went over all of the DMs that he had from John Swan, and going over the evidence of what happened, and going over the DMs that were sent to him. Okay? I knew about this new evidence about a week ago, and I offered in private for him to confess to me and apologize and delete his tweets, and I wouldn't criticize him publicly for it, without telling him about the evidence, and he still denied it fully and continued to tweet lies. See, this is why there's no credibility anymore. Because he knew he was lying, and he continued to do it. He didn't think he was going to get caught, and I can guarantee you he thought he was going to be able to talk his way out of this. He didn't understand it was going to blow up the way it did. But when you have someone whose whole persona is based off of credibility, when you lie like that, your credibility is completely gone. And anything that you have to say from here on out is going to be questioned. Everything that he said about Dream is going to be brought up again and again and again. His lies are going to be the bane of his existence, and they're going to follow him forever. Now, I'm making it a point to say it that way because that is something that Swan said to Pie Man, the 15-year-old. He said that the 15-year-old who had sexual thoughts about the 12-year-old, you know, that 3-year gap where they're both still fucking kids, is going to follow him for the rest of his life. Dream continues. I'm glad this has come to an end, but severely disappointed in John Swan for continuing to lie about me, despite me giving him multiple opportunities to tell the truth. I would like an apology to me and my community from John Swan, but I'll probably not get one. Now, to be fair, Dream did tweet this out before John Swan made his apology. But the thing is he apologized to Dream, not the Dream community, which I didn't know there was a such thing as that. But John Swan was trying to paint Dream's fans as abusive, harassers, doxers, you know, the same fucking thing that they always do. It's their only leverage. They either call you a doxer, they call you a pedo, they call you a liar, whatever it is. Anything that they can do to try and destroy your credibility to make themselves seem smarter. I'm also very disappointed in all the commentary channels that made the narrative that I slandered a small creator, which again is something that they all do. It's called hypocrisy. It's a double standard. I hope they'll put equal effort into making sure people know that I didn't, as they did into that. Dream, I know you're never going to read, I know you're never going to see this, I know you're never going to hear what I have to say. That's never going to happen. You see, they've been wrong in the past. They were wrong about Chris Hansen, they're wrong about Susie Liu, they're wrong about you. Those videos are not going to be made. You know, Jeremy from The Quartering makes it a big point to be in on all of the news and be part of the drama and put out 5 videos a fucking day. Made a ton of videos about Susie Liu and how she's canceled and how she's getting fired, or she's going to be sued into oblivion, and how she's destroying YouTube. And when proven that they were right about how the DMCA strikes against their channel were false, those retractions never happened. So these drama YouTubers, which, Dream, I appreciate you and staying away from them and not getting into it with them other than to defend yourself, they're never going to apologize to you. Ever. They're never going to say that you were right. They're never going to say that what you did was the right thing. they're barely saying that John Swan was wrong. They're covering their own asses. I'm going to get into that. And then he finally follows up with, "That's it, though. I don't plan on talking about it anymore. And remember, don't attack anyone on my behalf. Thank you guys for the support, as always. Heart and Detective Dream on top." So, Dream, as far as I can tell, like I said, I've never seen a single thing of his. I dropped into a live stream of his a while ago, and watched him pick apart basically John Swan's response and things like that. That was it. Never even heard his voice before. So, here's one of the ways that these creators who backed him are responding. This is from Augie. Augie RFC disabled his Twitter and then re-enabled it just to tweet this. Augie RFC, gotta love this hot take. "Honestly, I would have had more respect for John if he got caught diddling a kid. Lying about the Minecraft sex mod is way too far." Now, yes, I can understand that that is probably sarcasm. But this is a bit much. This is not, you say, see, these chuckle fucks think that they can just go to whatever topic that's being said and go, "I disavow." And then that's fine. They don't have to say anything else. I disavow what he's saying. So Tipster can see this and go, "I disavow what Augie said," and act like nothing happened. Because that's how it works in their side of the internet. They have a certain amount of rules that they go through, and if you don't follow those rules, well, then you're the one that's wrong. Yeah, Haster, you heard me correctly. Yes, a hot take from Closet Boy. Jacob Navo coming in with a pretty good dig. So that's from Augie. And then this is from Boblax. Big Bad Boblax. From Boblax. "Majority of creators in the drama community are great people." Pro tip: no, they're not. "Don't discount everyone in a community just based on the actions of one person." Based on the actions of one person. Here. You guys can see it, but I'll read my response. "No, we base it off the fact that you all cover for each other and toss each other off. You're a fucking hypocrite." Now, I don't listen to Keemstar. I don't follow Keemstar. But Keemstar is one of the reasons that this got brought up as adamantly as it did with John Swan. So we're going to watch a video from Keemstar. I'm going to put my handy-dandy headphones on. And we're going to see what he has to say. And then, since you guys are probably tired of me talking about John Swan and all of that idiocy, well, I'll give my final statements and then we'll move on to the fun stuff. All right.
John Swan, this is not going to work, all right? You making this post saying, "You know what, guys, I'm sorry I let you all down and I lied to everybody. I kept digging myself in a deeper hole and, I'm taking accountability now." The title of this is Taking Accountability. No, motherfucker. The only reason why you are even admitting that you're lying now is because you were cornered. There was evidence. There was proof. Tro, who knew this whole time, who said nothing, right, was telling other people the truth, and then they exposed those conversations with Tro, and then you got fucking cornered with proof to the point that forced you to tell the truth. This isn't taking accountability. And here's another thing. You're a fucking commentator, all right? And hey, look, I do news. Other commentators, cover news and stuff, criticizing other YouTubers. You're going to make mistakes. You got to own those mistakes. Mistakes happen, right? This isn't a mistake.
See, I can agree with that. This not being a mistake. Because he actively did it. He knew he was in the wrong. He knew he was in the wrong, and he kept going. We'll get to the fun stuff in a second, guys. I promise.
This is a deliberate fucking lie that you made about Dream. Dream is trying to ruin my career. This is a fucking lie. As commentators, you hold different YouTubers' careers, you know, in your fucking hands.
Nathan asks, whomst the fuck is this guy? This is Keemstar. He is the host of Drama Alert. Number one, according to his profile on Twitter, creator of Drama Alert, number one source for news on the social interactions and online entertainment. He's like the biggest fucking drama tuber that there is on YouTube. That's all he does, is he talks about drama. Viva Fry has covered something of his because a tattoo artist who became very popular on Instagram and YouTube, who was a tattoo artist to the stars, basically went on an interview with Keemstar and basically admitted to being a pedophile. And then that guy sued Keemstar for destroying his credibility. He's just a drama tuber. It's why I don't follow him. It's why I don't really... But he has some points to say, and I have to give credit where credit is due.
You gotta have some fucking respect for that. And again, mistakes happen, but this was not a mistake. This wasn't a oopsie. This was a deliberate fucking lie. No mercy. No fucking career. Anymore. You should be canceled indefinitely. You know, how the fuck are you gonna...
Okay, that I don't agree with. I don't agree with the cancel indefinitely. You guys know my stance on things. If his apology was sincere, and we can talk about his apology and we can tear it apart all we want. If his apology was actually sincere, we have to give him a chance to make up for what he lost. We have to give him that chance. Now, you know for a fact that there are people who don't want that to happen, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But my stance is, and I say this the same way, which is I don't agree with Keemstar in that, he has his opportunity. We have to give him the opportunity to live up to that apology. Because if we just flat out cancel him completely, no one listens to him ever again, no one does anything that has anything to do with him, you know, he has no reason to change his behavior. And that's the important part. Being able to change your behavior and learn from those mistakes.
Criticize any other fucking YouTuber on this fucking platform for anything they fucking do when you're doing this shit.
That I do agree with.
And the other commentators out there, dude, you better be hard on this dude. Because if you're not, then the entire commentary community is a fucking fraud. And they can't be trusted. You criticize other YouTubers. You'll criticize Dream. You'll criticize James Charles, fucking the Paul brothers, whatever. But if you don't do it to yourself, nobody should fucking trust you or watch you ever again, commentary community.
That last statement, I agree with 100%. If you cannot criticize your own community, if you cannot criticize your own people, if you cannot hold them underneath the light and let them know that you have to be upheld to the same standards we hold other people to, you can't be trusted, you shouldn't be listened to. And yeah, let's go as far as to say that it should destroy the commentary community. I don't like commentary at all. I do it. Or I did. What I'm doing right now is technically commentary. But I don't like that type of commentary. Where it's all opinion-based, it's all trying to slander someone, it's all trying to rip someone down. I would rather commentate on things like an idea, not a person. You guys have seen my Antoine's MGTOW videos. I would rather do that. Comment on the stupid ideas from the MGTOW community, or the stupid ideas from the feminist community, or let's destroy BuzzFeed's ideas of what they think you should be able to do, or I don't know, let's talk about the AP and how apparently Mr. Potato Head is no longer a Mister. See, we can commentate on that. We can commentate on that because it's something stupid. It is a stupid idea. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but the original Mr. Potato Head didn't come with a potato. It didn't come with this quirky little thing that is now big because of Toy Story and has never really lost popularity. Everybody knows who Mr. Potato Head is. There was even a Mrs. Potato Head. And you could interswap their parts and make them look funny. But apparently Mr. Potato Head is not a Mister anymore. Mrs. Potato Head is still a Mrs. as far as I can tell. So, yeah, when it first came out, it was just the pieces. It was just the nose, the eyes, the ears, a mouth, and a couple of things like that. Mr. Potato Head was for an actual potato. Because Mr. Potato Head came out in a time when pet rock was a thing. So, Mr. Potato Head is no longer a Mister. Let's get into this. I don't know how far, this doesn't look, it's not that long of an article, so we may be able to get through most of it. Is it Mr. Potato Head or not? Now, this is from the Associated Press. This is how slow of a news day it was. You know, it has nothing to do with Biden bombing Syria. I mean, that's something that they don't want to talk about. But, you know, Hasbro created confusion Thursday when it announced that it would drop the Mister from the brand's name in order to be more inclusive and so all could feel welcome in the Potato Head world. There is a Potato Head world. Why is there a Potato Head world, and why do we need to be completely inclusive when all you have to do is add the hat to give it hair and take away the mustache and it can be female? Nathan says, imagine critical thinking is bad. Ray says, before I got into this YouTube shit, I thought MGTOW was a Russian jet that's Chinese Buddhist. Oh, God. Zeogold said, FYI, Sandman has gotten worse since the last time Antoine talked about him. I will have to let him know so he can maybe check him out. Mr. Cuttlefish says, what a waste of potatoes. See, here's the thing. You would give it to your kids when you were going to be making, like, mashed potatoes that night. So they get a chance. You keep them occupied while you're doing that. And then you grab the potato after you're done. You know, wash it off, cut it up, and put it in the potatoes. It was killing two birds with one stone. Let's see. And Ray says, is the Potato Head world near the Tide Pod Earth? I don't know. You're going to have to talk to Penn and Sparky about that one. In the Potato Head world. Oh boy. It also said it would sell a new playset this fall without the Mr. and Mrs. designations that will let kids create their own type of potato families, including 2 moms or 2 dads. Which, shockingly enough, you could do anyway. Do you want to know how you do that? You buy 2 Mr. Potato Head dolls, and then it's 2 dads. Or you buy 2 Mrs. Potato Head dolls, and it's 2 moms. It's simple. This is pandering in the most ridiculous way. But in a tweet later that afternoon, Hasbro clarified that while the brand is changing, the actual Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head characters will still live on and be sold in stores. In a picture posted on Twitter, the Mr. and Mrs. names are less prominently displayed at the bottom of the box instead of the top. So they realized how stupid they were being and decided to change gears. All right. See, this is where I got to criticize them for making a stupid decision to do something like this in the first place, but then to backpedal and go, well, we're going to put it in the box anyway. Listen, stick to your guns. Stick to your guns. Let people criticize you for being dumb, but if you're going to make a decision like this, stick to your guns. Take Mr. and Mrs. off the box. You reap what you sow. Now you just look cowardly. While it was announced today that the Potato Head brand name and logo are dropping, the Mr. I am proud... Oh, God. Proud to confirm that Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head aren't going anywhere and will remain Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, the company tweeted. The tweet came after news of the brand name change exploded on Twitter, with people asking if Barbie will change her name her name next. I think Hasbro needs to drop the bro and just be Has. Well, you don't necessarily have to drop the bro. I mean, if you do drop the bro, might as well add the Ben so they can be Has-Bens. Let's see. A tweet came... another person tweeted... Hasbro appears to want to have it both ways, expand the brand while not killing off its most iconic characters, which appeared in the Toy Story films. They are looking to broaden the franchise, said Robert Pasikoff, founder of marketing consultancy brand Keys. You take the focus of what is essentially one character and now allow it to be a platform for many characters. Yes, we know how that works. It's why G.I. Joe was such a popular series. G.I. Joe wasn't really that great of a show. Forgive me for ruining people's childhoods. G.I. Joe really wasn't that great of a show. It was action-packed. The animation was okay for the time. The story, or the knowing is half the battle is people know that saying. They don't know the other part of that. But the other part of that, knowing is half the battle. The other half is violence. The other half is action. And taking action against your enemies, which is violence. But G.I. Joe was made to sell fucking toys. Hasbro created the Transformers was made to sell toys. It's why there was always a brand new Transformer in almost every single episode. It's so that they could pump those toys out and get people to buy them. I know, I bought them. So they want to be inclusive to the alphabet people, the LGBT people, and not inclusive of those people as well, because that's what you're saying. We're going to get rid of Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head to welcome everybody, but we're going to keep it on the box. That's fucking dumb, to be fair. Let's see. Kimberly Boyd, a senior vice president at Hasbro, said the intention of the brand name change was to be more inclusive, there's that word again, and to have the characters still live within the Potato Head universe. Guys, did you know there was a Potato Head universe? Because this is shocking to me. I had no idea. A Potato Head universe? What? Does everything have to have a universe now? See, MCU, this is your fault. Everybody's got a universe now. Did you know there was supposed to be a King Arthur universe? A King Arthur movie-verse with the last King Arthur movie that came out and bombed to the point where I didn't even know a movie about King Arthur came out? It was supposed to have this whole arc with 4 other movies starring Lancelot and Guinevere and all that shit. Are you fucking kidding me? Not everything needs a world or a universe. It created a lot of excitement, she said about the reaction. Well, you're misconstruing excitement with outrage, but that's fine. GLAAD and LGBTQ advocacy group applauded the more inclusive potato playset. Hasbro is helping kids to simply see toys as toys, which encourages them to be their authentic selves outside the pressures of traditional gender norms. Why do we listen to these people? If you said this statement to any normal person, if you said Hasbro is helping kids to simply see toys as toys, which encourages them to be their authentic selves outside of the pressures of traditional gender norms, do you think anyone would look at you and go, yeah, that makes sense? Or would you just go, they're fucking kids. Let them be kids. Their gender norms don't... Are you fucking kidding me? Let's see. Many toy makers have been updating their classic brands in recent years, hoping to relate to today's kids and reflect more modern families. No, they're trying to relate to the angry mob because they're petrified. They're absolutely petrified of putting out anything that could possibly be seen as offensive. They don't want to be canceled. So they're trying to do all this stupid new shit. There's only a little bit more. We'll finish this off, and then we're going to move on to a really quick one, and then we'll move on to some more stuff. Barbie, for example, has tried to shed its blonde image and now comes in multiple skin tones and body shapes. The body shapes thing is, yes, that's technically new. The multiple skin tones is not. Barbie has had multiple skin tones for the longest time because Barbie came out with friends. Body types, well, it came out shorter or taller, not because everybody remembers Skipper, or at least I do, which was her little sister, so she was smaller than Barbie. She had brown hair instead of blonde hair. Have they given Ken a penis yet? No? Then it's not inclusive enough. There needs to be an attachable penis. So you can put it on Barbie or you can put it on Ken. Hasbro, you need to start doing shit like this or else you are nothing more than a gender traitor. The Thomas the Tank Engine toy line added more girl characters. Alright, that's cool. It's Thomas the Tank Engine. You're dealing with toddlers that don't give a flying fuck if they're girls or boys. And American Girl is now selling a boy doll. Great. Cabbage Patch did that beforehand. I didn't know that was a problem. Mr. Potato Head first hit the toy scene in 1952 when it didn't even come with plastic potato. Kids had to supply their own vegetable. Yep. To poke eyes, nose, or a mustache into Hasbro, which also makes Monopoly and My Little Pony, bought the brand and eventually added a plastic spud. Yeah. So, yes, Mr. Potato Head is losing the mister, but no, because Hasbro doesn't want to deal with all that shit. Let's see. Nathan says, to be fair, there was a massive collection of Arthurian legends that all existed in the same storyline as far back as the 1300s. La Morte d'Arthur. Yeah, but you can't spring something like that on people. You know, sure, there's tons of legends. That's great. People don't give a fuck about King Arthur right now. It is not the time or place to come out with King Arthur and the King Arthur universe. Let's see. Mansquatch says, awkwardly looks around his files at all the information on Sarah, Antoine, and other characters he's gotten from Matt and Ishtar. There does not need to be a Antoine Potato Head, alright? It doesn't need to happen. Besides, it would just be 2 red eyes and a hoodie put on top of a spud. Ray says, see, Ray remembers Skipper. When I played with Barbie in the early 1990s, she was an assassin that always managed to sneak into the Generalissimo's bedchamber. Ray, you had some weird fantasies. Just saying. And then Wolf says, is G.I. Joe going to be G.I. I don't know what? Let me read that again. Is G.I. Joe going to be G.I. I don't know what? No, because I don't think they're remaking G.I. Joe. But, you know, they could. Alright, here's a quick one. This is from page 6. Never talked about page 6, but here we go. Is Emma Watson retiring? Star stepping away from acting. If you don't know who Emma Watson is, it's Hermione. Now, I'm not going to read this article because it basically just says she is stepping away. Now, if you guys don't know, Emma Watson is a huge proponent of the Me Too movement. She's one of the people who founded the Me Too movement. She is a huge feminist. And she's retiring. She is also reportedly looking to spend more time with rumored fiancé Leo Robinson. The couple have reportedly been dating since 2019. all I have to say about Emma Watson retiring at the age of 30 is basically the cure to feminism is always a good dicking. Always. That's all I have to say about Emma Watson retiring. Look, I don't care if she retires. It's her life. She's made more money than she's ever going to spend in her lifetime. That's fine. Retire. But you're no longer going to be a proponent of Me Too because, well, you got dick. Good dick, apparently. And it's made you less feministy. Let's talk about guys. Now, guys do some weird things. Girls, Mitzi, this is something you need to pay attention to. So, guys do a lot of weird things in the bedroom. A lot of weird things in the bedroom. And I'm not talking about myself. Okay? You guys kind of know my predilections in the bedroom. It's been brought up more than a few times. Mitzi definitely wants to know what I do in the bedroom. She wants to know how I would use that Swiss Army butthole of hers. But here's something, ladies, that you need to warn your man against doing. Okay? I don't know if it's a Florida man story, Zio Gold, but it does have to do with the derriere. Man hospitalized after putting 15 boiled eggs up his butt. I guess the stopping point for boiled eggs up the rectum is 14. Don't go any farther than 14. You will be hospitalized if you stick that 15th boiled egg up your sphincter. Oh God. I love the image. For better or worse, but probably worse, people just love to stick things in not safe for work parts of their bodies. But one recent case report will make even the most jaded among us wince. It all started with a report published last week in the Dutch Journal of Medicine, because of course it's the Dutch. If it wasn't the Dutch, it was going to be the Chinese. Titled Step-by-Step Approach to Rectal Corpus Alienum? I don't want to know what that is, but that does not sound good. In other words, how to remove foreign bodies stuck in a patient's rectum. A truly noble cause. Hey, doctors have done things and pulled things out of places that they shouldn't have been in. We've all heard about Richard Gere and the gerbil. I think it was a hamster, not a gerbil. But yeah. Whew. I used to have a roommate. His name is John. And he used to be an EMT. He is now a emergency room specialist, emergency room tech. He's on his way to becoming an RN. He has like 5 different degrees. I'm not kidding. Like the company he works for keeps paying him to go to school, to keep learning new things, to get higher pay. He can't get, when we stopped being roommates, he couldn't get another raise. He couldn't get a bigger raise because he was already at the top level of what he could get. He made, and I'm kid you not, he made $62 an hour. Why did he need roommates? Because he liked being around people, and he didn't want to be around his family. But yeah, $62 an hour. Oh, and he worked at least 20 hours overtime, and loved working holidays because he got double time and triple time. The man did not hurt for money, ever. But he had told me a story that he was in the emergency room, and a woman was giving birth. And basically, the kid on its way out hooked its foot around one of her arteries. And it cut it. or it wasn't the kid. It wasn't the kid's foot, or like the placenta had hardened against the wall of the uterus, and they pulled it out, and anyway, it ruptured the artery. And basically, what he told me he had to do to this woman is one of the reasons he is permanently gay. He will never not be gay, because in his act of emergency, he had to close the wound. The doctor was not ready with anything. So as acting nurse, he said he put his hand in her vagina, all the way up to the womb. He said he was elbow deep in this woman's vagina. Elbow deep. To hold the artery shut. He said, I have been far too close to a woman's vagina to ever be attracted to it. Ever. I don't blame him. So yeah, doctors do some really weird things. I give them props for that. Let's continue. Mainly because I want to get past this article because it's showing a deer with a fucking hairy eyeball and it's gross. Ladies and gentlemen, the paper begins. Patients who visit the emergency room because of foreign bodies in the rectum are certainly not exceptional. In recent years, the problem has even increased. That's not good for humanity. On the basis of 3 different cases, we present a step-by-step approach for the removal of rectal corpus alienum. And it's one of those cases that is making all of the headlines. Patient C is a 29-year-old man who came to the emergency room around midnight because of acute stomach pain, the study reports. Together with his partner, he had anally inserted 15 boiled and peeled eggs while under the influence of GHB earlier in the evening. Oops. GHB is a drug that can be used for treating narcolepsy, but is most famous for being a date rape or chemsex drug. By the time the gentleman got to the hospital, he was suffering from an abnormally rapid heartbeat, tachycardia, of 120 beats per minute and a rapid breathing rate, trachopnea, of 28 breaths per minute. A physical exam revealed abdominal guarding all across his entire abdomen. Suspecting abdominal sepsis. That's not good. Sepsis is bad. It's when your body becomes toxic and can kill you. The doctors gave him a CT scan, and what they saw was not pretty. GHB is Rohypnol, date rape drug. It makes you very susceptible to influence. It makes you very lightheaded. It makes it basically where you can be manipulated. Ray says, so that's why they banned the phrase, let's get this into gear in Hollywood area pet stores. Yes. No, Wren, people can't just trip and fall on 15 hard-boiled eggs and have them be inserted into their butt. Visible in the CT scan were a perforation in the sigmoid pelvic. He perforated his colon with hard-boiled eggs. Oh no! And a considerable amount of air and fluid in the abdominal cavity. The doctor reported, therefore, we deemed an emergency laparotomy necessary. A laparotomy is a surgical procedure in which a large incision is made through the abdominal wall, allowing access to the abdominal. They cut open your stomach, basically. Why? You can just put they cut open your stomach. In a revelation that will shock approximately nobody, forcing 15 eggs up your rectum is not a good idea. The doctors confirmed a large intestinal tear caused by the side dish. Okay. This is bad. This is bad wording on I Love Science's part. But it's side dish cum suppositories. As well as extensive inflammation caused by feces leaking into it. Ew! 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 The eggs were removed as well as we could, and the abdominal cavity was thoroughly rinsed, reports the case study. After the operation, the patient was monitored for a short time in the ICU, and after a few days, he was able to leave the hospital in clinically good condition. But even though this adventurous patient seems to have come out of it relatively unscathed, we're pretty sure medical professionals would still recommend against this particular eggy proclivity. Yeah, don't stick eggs up your butt. Even better, don't stick 15 eggs up your butt. It's not good. It's bad. Do you guys want some more interesting, weird news? Because I got something interesting and weird for y'all. There's a video, so I got to put the headphones back on. All right. Ray says, every time this guy rips a bad fart, he will always fear, did they leave an egg in there? Well, it might not have been 15. It could have been 16. You do not know. So there could be one. All right. From the New York Post, a woman uses her own thong as a mask after nearly being kicked out of a store. I will show the video. It's not that long. Then we will read the article. Oh, and for those of you who are watching at home and you can't see the video, she's wearing the thong. She didn't just come in with a thong on her face. She's wearing it, and she is now taking it off to wear it as a mask.
What's going on?
No! She put on... They're like, no, that lady, that's not how that works.
Well, personally, I find it acceptable. It is a mask.
See? Alright. Even the woman there on the right with the shopping cart goes, personally, I think she's fine. It technically is a mask. Well, she's going to be craving butter for most of the day. See, this is how the MGTOW fight women. They make them inhale their own copulence.
Less than on the mask. Yeah. The bacteria on the mask is less than a liquid. So, hey, well done. Well done to you.
Not well done. Not well done. That's fucking... You fucking kidding me? She's rad. Alright, don't get caught with your pants down. Unless, of course, you need a face mask in a jiffy. Thank you, New York Post. A woman in South Africa avoided getting thrown out of a Pick and Pay supermarket by using her panties as a mask. Now, unfortunately, the woman was not like a super sexy underwear model. She looked like she was in her early 50s. So this is not something that you're like, oh, that's sexy. This is something that's like, oh, that's horrifying. Smartphone camera footage obtained by Newsflash caught the bizarre interaction in which a store guard, asked the maskless woman who was waiting with her cart of groceries in the checkout line to put on a face mask or leave the store. Did he? John McAfee is insane, but Damn Alien says John McAfee did that with his wife's thong when masks started being required. Having no mask handy, the resourceful renegade objects before pausing, presumably the moment a light bulb went off in her head. In the next moment, the cheeky customer can be seen reaching up beneath her paisley printed skirt, then pulling her black thong underwear down her legs and put up to her face, where she placed it in such a way as to cover her nose and mouth. Happy? She asks sarcastically. An astonished onlooker can also be heard uttering "Good Lord" from behind the camera. Meanwhile, another shopper standing online directly behind the now pantsless woman encourages the stunt. Well, personally, I find it acceptable. It is a mask, she says, and quite frankly, I think the bacteria on your knickers is less than on the mask. Well done to you, she adds with a congratulatory clap. Brilliant. However, internet critics weren't so impressed. Come on, grow up. What must your family think? Asked one Facebook user, according to Newsflash. Added another, this makes me sick. She is aware of the law worldwide. We have a serious virus and she thinks a G-string will save her. It's a mask. What this person doesn't understand is that masks are not meant to protect you from getting the virus. Masks are meant to protect you from giving the virus. It doesn't stop you from getting it. It stops you from spitting on people. So it is doing exactly what the masks are supposed to be doing. So that second Facebook user is a fucking idiot. I don't like masks. I don't care. I don't think it's a point. I don't. Igor says, I give her points for creativity. I mean, she was told to leave when she already had all of her groceries. I mean, most people don't wash the cloth masks. You're right, they don't. Most people don't. Ishtar insists we wash the masks. I don't particularly care because they don't do what they're supposedly supposed to be doing. The embarrassing thing is when her dentist had to write a prescription for a yeast infection. God damn it, Ray. Alright. We were talking about Twitter earlier today. So I have another video for you guys. And it is a Twitter video, and I want your guys' opinion on it. And I have thoughts of my own. I should just keep the headphones on, but there's no need. So here we go. This is a song for you guys. You guys ready? This is from a teacher on TikTok.
If you don't believe that there's white privilege, please don't teach. If you don't believe that Black Lives Matter, please don't teach. If you don't believe in systemic racism and how it negatively impacts our students of color and don't want to help dismantle those systems, please don't teach.
So, do you guys need me to play it again? For those of you who didn't catch that. So basically what this teacher is saying, which this from Art Taking Back, is, well, let's go over this.
If you don't believe that there's white privilege, please don't teach.
If you don't believe in the idea of white privilege, and that all white people in the world, which is 30% of the world's population, not even a majority, not even close to a majority, if you don't believe that all white people in this world are privileged and have it better than everyone else, you should not be able to teach. You should not be able to you should not be able to do what you believe, what you went to school for. White privilege is not a thing, especially in America, where this woman is from. Everyone has the same opportunities as everyone else, and what you do with those opportunities is different for each person. So if you don't believe as she does, if you don't have the right... My pause game is on point because she looks retarded. But if you don't believe in the same ideology that she does, if you don't believe in the same presence that she does, if you don't believe that white privilege is a thing, you're not allowed to use your degree. You're not allowed to be around kids. You're not allowed to do anything. You're not allowed to have a job. You're not allowed to voice your opinion. Okay? Let's move on to the next one.
If you don't believe that Black Lives Matter, please don't teach.
Okay, Black Lives Matter. I believe Black Lives Matter. I believe White Lives Matter. I believe Asian Lives Matter. I believe Indian Lives Matter. I believe Chinese Lives Matter. I believe all lives matter. Now, according to some people, saying all lives matter means I'm racist. I don't know how, but it does. Now, if you're talking about Black Lives Matter, the organization, well, that's a little bit different. See, the Black Lives Matter organization believes in destruction, tearing down the nuclear family, making sure that black people are the oppressors instead of the oppressed. They believe that violence is the way to get everything. They believe that they are owed money just for existing. So, depending on how you take that, sure, if you don't believe that black people matter, okay, I can kind of see how, and I'm saying that black people matter. If you don't believe that black people's lives matter, sure, you shouldn't teach, because it probably means you're racist. But if you don't believe that the organization is everything that it says it is, on the face of it, you shouldn't teach. Maybe you should take your fucking glasses, wipe them off on your shirt, and see what they were doing for the last summer of love, and what they've been doing over the last year. Maybe then talk about how, if you don't believe in Black Lives Matter, please don't teach. Now, this last one is a little bit long, so we're going to have to let her spout again.
If you don't believe in systemic racism and how it negatively impacts our students of color and don't want to help dismantle those systems, please don't teach.
The systematic racism and disadvantages of people of color in our education system. Okay. The privilege goes to the people of color in our education system. There is no whites-only grants. There are no whites-only scholarships. But there are black-only scholarships, black-only colleges, and no one says anything about those. There are black-only grants. Oh, let's also talk about how they have now categorized Asian Asian Polynesian people as white. Oh, and there's also the fact that Harvard and some of the other elite colleges make it to where if you're Asian, you have to get a higher SAT score to be considered than if you're black. Wait, that's kind of a privilege, isn't it? Let's talk about oppression of people of color. If you're a female person of color in college, did you know that they will give you extra time to take tests than if you're a white guy? Did you know that the privileges of the people in education actually skew more towards women and more towards people of color than any other person in this country? So this right there, there is no systematic racism. There is nothing that needs to be dismantled. See, what ends up happening and how all of this started is people like that bitch up there, what they did is they got degrees in easy college classes. You want a good reference? There's a line from the movie PCU. Okay? And it is said by, what's his name? It's not Jeremy Renner, Jeremy Nevins? Anyway, one of the main characters. And he says, you can major in Game Boy if you can spin it well enough. So these people went and got easy degrees in things like gender studies, which had no basis in the real world. Gender studies, and having a degree in gender studies, just means you understand the differences between men and women. You understand that women, according to statistics in certain aspects and how you look at it, women are less privileged than men. Which, of course, we all know is not true. Especially in America. Now, if you're talking about physicality, yes. On the whole, men are stronger than women. I have met some strong women before. Now, what she's talking. So they get all of these degrees, and instead of actually having a secondary degree that they could get a job with and make money on and pay back their student loans, they did things like sociology and took the sociology courses and basically said, look, we're oppressed, give us things. So that's how all of this started. There's no systemic racism. There is equal opportunity, just not equal outcome. And we talked last week, and I got pretty heated about it last week, that equal outcome is impossible. Oh, gosh, you guys are talking to me in the chat. All right, hold on. Ray says, the systemic racism of the system that tells black people that learning to read, write, do math, science, and history? Yes. Yeah, that's systemic racism. What we talked about last week, how math is racist now. Finding the right answer is racist. Finding neutrality is racist. Yeah, that's systemic racism. Let's see. Zio Gold says, people like this teacher and her ilk are more evil than the people who fight the Power Rangers. It's one way to look at it. And then Igor comes in with, woke only like certain races. See how they made Girl Scouts rename Samoa cookies? The Samoa people were pissed as in their opinion is the best Girl Scout cookie. If you want to piss them off when they talk about STEM, ask them why they don't enroll in STEM. Yeah, I know, because when you ask them why they didn't enroll in STEM, basically your answer is, well, I didn't want to. Well, that's a you problem! Let's see, Ray says, when I was getting my history degree at university, I took a few classes with people who were going for their masters for teaching. They weren't bright or hard workers. You know, I can't argue with you. Can't argue with you, Ray. Alright, so, this is what we deal with, people. This is the teachers that are coming up. They don't want to teach. I don't know if you guys heard, and then I'll get on to the next thing that's going to make you guys laugh, and it's probably going to get this stream possibly banned. Listen, these teachers are just ridiculous, right? They're getting paid right now. All the teachers who are out of work because of the COVID pandemic are being paid right now. They're being paid to stay at home. They're being paid to be teachers on Zoom calls instead of going into class. They don't have to be around kids. They're getting a lot of mental relief. So much so that they have been caught in Zoom meetings trashing the parents, saying that we're not your babysitters. You know, you're going to have to deal with your kids now. And that was in New York. Technically, since schooling is government mandated, yeah, you are a babysitter. You have to take care of the children in your care. You took that as a job. It's what you do. It's how you do it. Just because you're getting paid to stay at home now because of this quote-unquote pandemic, it doesn't matter. You are a babysitter. You're teaching children for 9 hours a fucking day. See, school isn't getting easier. School is getting longer. You know, I remember when I was in high school and middle school, we had 6 periods, 6 classes. Now, you could have 0 class where you got up early in the morning, and you could have late classes where you stayed later, 7th and 8th period. But you had 6 classes. There were 2 breaks and a lunch in between, just like a job, because you had 8 hours of school, basically. So just like a job, you had 1 lunch, 2 breaks. You're teaching kids how to take tests, let's be honest. You're teaching them routine. You're teaching them structure. You're teaching them how to pay attention, how to dress properly in the working world. So now, I don't know if you guys know this, but now there are 9 classes that they take during the day. It's like 10 hours of school. It's ridiculous. You go from zero period to 8th period. So yeah, school's getting longer. Teachers don't like putting in the hours. Big fucking deal. You chose that career. Deal with it. Don't come out here and saying we're not glorified babysitters. Yes, you are. The state, the federal government basically said that kids have to be going to school. Until they reach a certain age, they have to go to school. Well, now you are a government-paid, salary-enabled babysitter. Deal with it. Oh, I know, Ray, they're not teaching people how to think. Igor says, I'm so old. I had eight classes. Each class was 1 hour. Each class assigned about 10 minutes of homework every day. Yes. Now they don't assign homework. Or they do, but they assign homework that takes like a week. I remember getting 10 to 15 minutes of homework from each class except for physical education every day. Alright, let's get on to something that's probably going to get this stream banned because of how it looks. Alright, ready? I'm gonna show you guys, but I'm not gonna show you the title. What does that look like to y'all? Looks like something that's gonna get my stream banned, yeah? Don't worry. For those of you looking at home, or listening at home, or listening terrestrially, or whatever you're listening to it, that looks like a penis. Nathan says, alien pecker. Yeah. That's a that's a penis. Only it's not. Bizarre quote unquote sea penis gets a rise out of social media. Oh Lord. This is what I'm reduced to. It's the new Moby Dick. Bump bump. Damn Alien says if yours is that color, see a doctor. An Australian freediver has social media in sophomoric stitches after sharing a picture of a bizarre penis-shaped creature on Facebook. It seems to bring a lot of happiness, wrote Josie Jones, 48, above a photo of the oceanic phallus, which she encountered on the seafloor off Rye Front Beach in Victoria, Jam Press reported. Not quite sure what to make of the sea penis, the oceanic explorer shared a pic of it to the local marine research Facebook group Tuesday. Biologists were quick to point out that the marine manhood is in fact a Pallidea, a type of unsegmented worm that resides at the bottom of the ocean. Named after Priapos, the Greek god of male generative power, the Priapulan's resemblance to a phallus becomes all more evident given its penchant for discharging its eggs and sperm into the sea. Just like a guy, just put it all over the place. We have over 160 species living under our pier, said Jones, who cleans the beaches and local waters to improve the water quality for marine life. However, while many of the comments in the group skewed super scientific, some snarky social media users had a field day with the doppelwanger. Oh, fuck you, New York Post. That was a horrible pun. Josie's not that bad looking. Alright. Even nature gets the urge, quipped one Facebook funny man. Where do you put the batteries, joked another, apologizing to the worms. Analog... I know how to say that word. Analogizing? Whatever. Comparing the worm to a sex toy. Why can't you just say comparing? Wow, submarine animals are going to have fun with that, said one social media comedian, to which Josie responded, "You've got such a wonderful imagination." Theo Gold is right. With worms like this, just kind of shooting their stuff all over the place, it's definitely a good reason to stay out of the ocean. Of course, Priapelidia ain't the only phallic fish in the sea. Last year, a flotilla of penis spoonworms inundated a California beach, sending social media users into hysterics. It also spawned this gem of a tweet from comedian Mark Normad. "Ladies, if you aren't satisfied at home, remember there are plenty of fish in the sea." Oof. Henry says the starfish has some stiff competition. Oh boy. Alright. Let's move on. Alright, I'm going to let you guys choose, because I don't know if this is going to be the last article or not. So you guys get to choose. Do you want to talk about video games, or do you want to talk about Twitter? And I don't mean Twitter as in talking about tweets. I'm talking about Twitter as the platform. So put a 1 in the chat for video games, or put a 2 in the chat for Twitter. I'm pretty sure I know how this is going to go. I will wait for you guys' decision. We got a 1 from Nathan, 1 from Zeogold, 1 from Ben, 1 from Ray. In every way possible, fuck Twitter. Igor wants to read about Twitter. Wren sent me something. I don't know if this is good or bad. Oh, no. Wren. No. Wren. No. Wren. If we have time. Why do you want to hurt me, Wren? Wolfie says 1. Alright, the Wolvania, I got it. The ones have it. We're going to talk about games. You get 1 vote. 1. Alright. This is from PC Gamer, the global authority on PC games. Are you guys ready for this fucking take? Because it's a good one. It's so cool that it's like the surface of the sun. Why too much combat hurts great RPGs. No, I said that right. Why too much combat hurts great RPGs. What a game chooses to reward says a lot about the kind of play the creator wants to encourage. In the tutorial dungeon during the first act of Pillars of Eternity, you meet a Ixarip, one of the game's reptilian kobold creatures. It's feebly waving a spear, see the video above, but obviously isn't much of a threat. In another RPG, you might be tempted to heroically slaughter the sickly 3-foot specimen because, hey, level 2 ain't gonna hit itself. But in Pillars of Eternity, you don't earn experience points for every single thing you kill. It ties its biggest XP reward to quest completion instead. Theoretically, allowing you to pursue non-violent solutions without feeling like you're holding yourself back, without having to worry that you're weakening your future self by not beating up every single wheezing gecko man you meet. You could talk to him instead. The tabletop RPG's Pillar of Eternity draws heavily on for inspiration have gone down similar paths, with the last few editions of Dungeons & Dragons all suggesting heroes who sneak past an ogre deserve the same amount of experience as those who murder it. Using 5th edition and 4th edition of D&D as your example of good role-playing games, you might need to turn in your nerd card. Okay? You need to turn in your credibility card for this, because 5th edition is just fucking garbage. How's it going, leader? I am doing alright. I hope you're feeling better. You're here just in time to hear about RPGs and how they need to nix the combat because people don't like fighting. Now, there have been games that have been out there that do have a pacifist run. Thief was one of those games where you could get around not killing people. I know that... what was the game was recent. I can't remember the name of it, but there were 2 types that you could do a pacifist run. God, I can't remember it. But you can do... There are games that allow you to do pacifist runs. But if the game is directed on... Like, even... I know it's a controversial game to talk about, but Cyberpunk 2077, you don't have to kill all of the people that you come across. If you have a sneak ability and you can sneak up on someone, you can actually incapacitate them instead of kill them. You get the same amount of experience points. You get the same amount. You get the ability to loot their body. You still can do it. Giving the option to do it, sure, but determining that that's exactly what you need to be doing, that I don't agree with. But 5th edition and 4th edition are utter garbage compared to 3.5. Let's see. Where was I? Here we go. While other RPGs hand out points for making in-character decisions or even making other players laugh, what a game chooses to reward says a lot about the kind of play the creators want to encourage. Yes, because it's a game. It's how it works. They tell a story that is driven by the mechanics of the game. If you want a walking simulator, go buy fucking Firelight or what is it? The life game that can be beaten in 46 seconds. It's fucking dumb. If you want a walking simulator, go get those. Leave RPGs alone. If they want to innovate like this, by all means, innovate. But this should not be the core mechanic of the game. One of the things Pillars of Eternity gives experience points for is finding new maps, and that pushes you towards exploration. You want to barge into every building in town, and when you do, you inevitably find quest givers waiting in them. It saves its big rewards for completing those quests, which means you're less likely to wander off and fill your journal with more tasks you'll never get around to. In other games, it's easy to stop seeing them as heroic deeds you vowed to accomplish and instead think of them more like suggestions. Yeah, sure, I will almost definitely find your missing husband, but I also have to become the head of the Thieves Guild and have a drinking competition with a guy down the pub. Here, you're motivated to actually tie up those loose ends in your quest log. That's for games that... Those are for completionists, alright? To be fair, I never finished Skyrim. Okay? Mortal Kombat Pacifist Edition? You can. You don't have to kill them. They have friendships. You don't have to kill the people. You can use your friendships on them. Skyrim. It was a huge RPG. Still is. Character creation is one of the best. There are so many fucking so many fucking side quests, and that's what I got bogged down into. I got bogged down in doing the side quests to the point where I got my levels so high, so early in the game, that even the most powerful dragons at the time could not stop me. I was two-shotting the most powerful creatures in the game. And the game got boring. All the side quests, going to have to do things. And you get lost in the quagmire of it. I understand that. And then you take something like Diablo 3. Diablo 3 is a role-playing game. It's a top-down role-playing game that is highly entertaining, but there is a lot of violence in it. A ton. You get experience points for completing the minimal side quests that are there, but you also get experience points for killing things. The mechanic of the game is, of course, how powerful you can get your character, and showing how powerful these characters can be in the world that is Diablo, which if you really think about it, the world of Diablo is completely and utterly garbage and horrible. Like, if you're not a superpowered hero in Diablo, you're always sick and dying. So yeah, you want to show that these people are decent people because they're heroic and they save people. But it's the mechanics of the game that allow these people to do these things. You can have it to where experience points come from the different types of communication trees you have. But if you're just going to have that, you're not going to get the audience that you want. Role-playing games need to have some form of combat, because that's what they were started with. You play Dungeons and Dragons, yes, for the role play of creating your character, becoming that character, talking to your friends as their characters, interacting with NPCs as that character. But you also play the fucking game to go kill some goddamn thieves, take over some dungeons, and destroy some fucking dragons. I mean, let's be fair. Half of the... Well, no, not even half. All of the half-human classes or races that you can become in any of the D&D games were because a bard decided he thought that golem looked hot. So you can have these aspects in your game. I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying that you can't advance the story with these mechanics. But to say, which this person did, is by saying that you're encouraging violence by rewarding violence, you are giving no credit to the people who actually play the game. None whatsoever. And you're making it sound like the people who are actually doing this, the people who are actually playing these games, like Vampire the Masquerade, or the new Werewolf game that's coming out, or Cyberpunk 2077, or Overwatch, you're encouraging violence. You're encouraging violent people to be violent. It doesn't make sense. So, that statement is just completely and utterly garbage. But I agree with all of the problems with, like, Skyrim having way too many quests, and Ray pointed out Fallout 4. Never played Fallout 4, but apparently it has a ton of quests too. And Wren says, these people need to leave my killy time alone. You're right. Look, I don't have a problem with people coming up with new mechanics for games. All right? So, Cyberpunk 2077 is just Grand Theft Auto 5 First Person Edition. You're doing the exact same stuff. It's just got a cyberpunk appeal to it. Right? You steal cars if you can, you complete side quests, you gain money, you gain power, you gain fame, and it has an overall story arc. But it's still the same game. Diablo 3 and Torchlight. Same type of game. Right? Path to Exile. Not Torchlight. Diablo 3 and Path to Exile. Same type of game. You're not... If you want to innovate, look at Hades. Right? Hades is a top-down game, roguelike game that has an overarching storyline that you have to beat the game 10 fucking times to get the real ending. It has an interesting mechanic. It has interesting gameplay. You are not cultivating violence by encouraging people to kill things in Hades. So, if you want to add these things, and this is, I'm not going to finish this article because I know it's going to piss me off, and I don't want to get pissed off. If you want to encourage these things, that's fine. If you want to encourage innovation, awesome. All for it. Games should be innovated. Games need to continue to be fun. Why do you think games like... I've been playing it a lot more recently, but games like Overwatch always update. Right? New characters, new maps, new mechanics, patches in what they can do and what they can't do. It's to keep people playing. It's to keep people coming to your game, to put more hours into it, to make it popular, for them to tell their friends about it so their friends will do the same thing. You can't tell those people who like those games, you shouldn't like those games because it makes you a violent person. And that's what they're saying. This is same fucking thing that they said way back when, is that video games make people violent because that's what you're rewarding. As a matter of fact, studies show that it's the exact opposite of that. Violent games do not make people violent. It makes them less violent because they're getting out those urges. They're getting out those tendencies that every human being has in being violent. When you get angry, you have the opportunity of being violent. Instead of being angry, you go play a video game where you kill a bunch of things and you feel better about it because you got those tendencies out. You have no reason to do them anymore. So things like that, you can't tell people that you're going to be violent because you're playing a violent game, or you're encouraging violence because that's the mechanic of your game. It's just wrong. And you're doing it wrong. And I understand this person really, really, really wants to push Pillars of Eternity. Apparently they really like the game. Cool. Jody McGregor, you can like Pillars of Eternity. There's nothing wrong with it. Liking Pillars of Eternity, it's a game you like. I like Overwatch. There are a ton of people who don't. I like Magic the Gathering. There are millions of people who think I'm a nerd because of it. People that I enjoy watching on stream have actively and openly said how they think Among Us is a dumbass game and shouldn't have been made. I believe opposite. I think Among Us is hilarious. I think it's fun. They're allowed their opinions. I'm allowed mine. But for me to flat out say, you know what, if you don't like Overwatch, you're an idiot, that's wrong. And for someone to come to me, the only reason you like Overwatch is because it encourages violence. No, that's wrong too. So, that's all I have to say about that one. Wren, I'm going to give your article that you sent me to Antoine for Tuesday. Okay? I'll let him deal with that one. Because I'm gonna... It was pointed out to me in the comment section of the Last Vox that I've been less chill on the Last Vox than I normally was. And I can understand that. There's been a lot going on. And having things happen, and there's a lot of stress. So seeing things like that brought up, a lot of the articles I bring up, I don't read because I want to have a visceral reaction with you guys while I'm reading them. And like the math is racist thing, I didn't think I was going to have that visceral of a reaction. So I tried to choose some articles this week that were fun, that were entertaining, that unfortunately apparently still made Ishtar hate humans. I don't want to be that angry guy. I don't like being that angry guy. It's something that it's something I believe everyone needs to work on, right? Everyone needs to learn how to calm down every once in a while. So take the last article. You could get completely outraged by this person saying that, combat mechanics don't need to be in RPGs and things like that. And it's really easy to put that into perspective and say that, like I said before, encouraging violence by rewarding violence. Well, yeah, take the logical approach to that, and you can honestly say that if you're encouraging a new mechanic in your game and it becomes popular, that mechanic is going to spread. Let's take God of War, for example. Now, there have been a ton of 3D beat-em-ups up until God of War showed up. And with God of War, you had a great story with an angry, angry, angry main character, right? The thing that it included that made it just a little bit over the top, just a little bit more than any of the other games like of its type, were QuickTime events. They were very rare until God of War showed up, believe it or not. God of War showed up, did QuickTime events right, and then suddenly all games had QuickTime events. Hell, what was it? It's Rain. What is the game? Rain. Not Silent Rain. Something. It basically was a murder mystery game that was all quick time events. Every single thing. That was a great innovation to the genre. And then you take games that really mess with you. Heavy Rain. Thank you, Steve. Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain was nothing but QuickTime events, but it had a good story to it. Then you take games that completely turn shit on its head. Like Nier Automata. Nier Automata, you start playing, and you're like, alright, this is a really cool just hack and slash game. And then you start talking to the NPCs, and you realize that these robots are the only things of human. They're trying to mimic humans, because that's what they grew up, or that's what they were made for, right? They're trying to become human. And here you are interacting with them and having them deal with philosophy, loss. You're having them deal with regret and pain and suffering. Well, the mechanics in that, you could just say, yeah, they're a hack and slash game. They have some quick time events. They have some combos. They have a great story. What did they innovate? Well, you play an android. Their innovation, which was quirky, it's not something that's going to revolutionize gaming, but it was quirky, right? You could actually take away or add to your OS, your operating system. You could even go so far as to removing Windows 32, or their version of Windows 32. And the game will actually warn you that if you get rid of that, it's going to end the game. It's going to kill you. And you can still do it, and it warns you 3 times. But in this system that they created, you could get rid of your heads-up display to add for more combat skills. You can, for more experience skills, you could get rid of your health gauge. You'd still have health, but you could get rid of your health bar. You could get rid of your heads-up display. You could get rid of the enemy title, or the enemy locators. You could get rid of your map. You could get rid of everything. Doing that stuff is fine. But telling someone that you have to do that it's something that you have to include, that's not good. And I can loop that back real quickly to what we talked about at the beginning of this show. I can loop that back to John Swan. John Swan is part of a commentary community with Augie RFC, Tommy C, Tipster, Nick Diorio, Boblax. They make their living. They make their YouTube career off of telling people exactly what they can and can't do. Who they should and should not like. Who they can and cannot watch. How they can and cannot act. People like that are people that you need to just take out of your life. You can sit back and you can talk to them about it. You can sit back and you can try and reason with them. But they are always going to hold you accountable for your actions, while their actions have no bearing whatsoever. So, my advice to you guys, and it's the best thing I can think of in dealing with what we've talked about today, and dealing with the situations like John Swan, or coming across people like Jody from the article and telling us what we should and shouldn't like, or shouldn't do, is take it with a grain of salt. Sit back. Don't let the outrage that they're trying to cause in you overtake you. Because that's what they want. They want you to be outraged. They want you to be furious. They want you to be excited. So you don't think about what you're doing, and you don't hit those beats to where you can sit back and go, okay, I understand what I need to do now. So, when you come across something that upsets you, take a deep breath, read it, listen to it a couple times, and then make your decision on what you're going to do. And you will be better off for it. because you'll be able to actually take in what is being thrown at you. But it is about that time, so I am going to have to say goodnight to you guys. I hope you enjoyed this more lax show. This was a, like I said, we experienced a funeral at the beginning. And I honestly think that we do need to give John Swan a chance to live up to his apology. So I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys learned something. And I hope you guys tune in next time. And with all that being said, if you like what I do here, please, the best thing you could do is hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and share this with your friends. And I hope to see you guys on MSNBC, Cringe Book Club, or next week in the Last Vox. Have a good night, everyone.
He keeps kicking me in the dick. Why? Why does he keep kicking me in the dick? Come on!